Hello, everyone. I'll go ahead and get started. You're on mute right now, but you can unmute yourself if you want to say anything. I'll try to keep a look on the chat as well. All right, welcome to the October district meeting. First thing, go ahead and put in your name and what district or group you're from into the chat. I'm sorry, there's some construction going outside of my window, so I'm not sure if the mic is picking that up. But all right, welcome everyone. Again, just a reminder, the fall workday schedule is posted on our Google site here. There are still work days going on. I think basically every ESU has had at least one work day already. But a lot of ESUs are hosting another work day to focus on validating data throughout basically the rest of this month. Here is the calendar. I don't think we ever added that. I know that ESU 10 also added a work day that we need to get on here as well. I forget what day that was, but so you can see there's still a couple left. I want to talk about the calendar a bit, just to kind of reconfirm the dates and everything. It seems kind of confusing because of how we're collecting the data differently, but basically the calendar is the same as it was last year. So our official due date for the data is October 15th, just like before. Not October 1st. I think someone in the department even sent out an email that said that. That is not correct. But what we do is at the end of the collection window here, we are looking back at the enrollment and program data as of October 1st. Your enrollments for your students and the programs, the SPED and early childhood programs those all have dates attached to them. So we look backwards at that. Just to remind you, fall data, we're really just concerned with the student demographics, student enrollments, SPED programs, and early childhood programs. There's some other things like calendars that have to be set up in order to send enrollments, since enrollments are dependent on the calendar. But we don't really need to verify the calendar days are all exactly correct. Students just need to be assigned to a calendar. And then during the audit window from October 16th till the end of the month, you can keep making data changes. You just change the data in your SIS and publish it just like you've been doing right now. So nothing really changes after October 15th. What happens for this window is that we take a snapshot of the data, all data that's been uploaded on midnight at October 31st. Basically, whatever your as of October 1st reports say. As you know, most of our, like the fall membership reports, have a reporting window drop down at the top where you say as of today or the full year or as of October 1st. So really be looking at the as of October 1st version of your reports. And then we will lock everyone's data on October 31st. In the future, we hope to have more advanced features for locking that down, where you can finish early basically and lock your data. But for this round, basically we'll be taking a snapshot of everything at that time. So then the verification reports will then also have this as of October 1st locked version. You won't see that until November, but at that time, then that's how you can see what was reported to the state for you. And just like before, if you need to make changes after October 31st to your state data, you go to the CDC, you put in one of those requests to submit data later or make data changes. And we go through an approval for those. And then if we need to make updates to your data, we will handle updating the snapshot with you. Any questions about how that schedule works? Yeah, I'll take that as no. Advisor validation website. We've been fixing a few bugs with reports as we go. Whenever someone reports them to us in a ticket, we are looking at those. We're also still adding a few new features. The archiving errors feature should be coming in the next release, the next big website release, which should hopefully happen on Thursday this week, if not early next week. That will, archiving errors means where you can hide errors that you want to pull off your list. Of course, that doesn't mean that just because you hide it doesn't mean the data doesn't need to be fixed necessarily. So be careful when you use that feature. We will also finally be removing 1718 from the advisor validation website. That data is not your true 1718 data. You should be using the NSSRS validation site if you want to look at that. Next up, we will be adding a checkout screen for district administrators. Whereas in the old system, district administrators had a screen in the NSSRS data manager where they lock down their data. They check the button that says they're all done with their fall data, and that prevents uploading new files. We're going to have a similar kind of screen, but it'll work different. It's not gonna. There's no files to prevent from uploading. But we'll still have a checkout screen that will list the reports that should be being reviewed, and district administrators will kind of check it off. And once they say they are done reviewing your data. The short version of what those reports are is basically any report that says review for the fall. If you don't know what I'm talking about, let me pull that up here. So I'm in advisor validation. I'm looking at the student verification reports. And when you go look at a list of reports, you can see over on the right here, fall or year end or both. So like early childhood for state aid purposes, that's something you review in the fall. The rest of the early childhood data, that's really meant for year end. See, under membership and attendance, obviously, pretty much everything related to membership is in the fall. The attendance reports, we kind of pulled them off here for now. They're not relevant for the fall. Just a reminder, attendance is really does not need to be submitted to the state till year end. Although we expect you'll probably be submitting attendance data throughout the year, but and of course your special education reports, all those are reviewed in the fall. Everything in the state aid category definitely is to be reviewed in the fall. Yeah, Jenny said she couldn't hear me, but I think everyone else can hear me okay. It looks like my voice is coming through. Okay. So we hope to kind of release that around the end of next week. Some obviously before the end of the audit window. Quick update about the dashboard. As you've been putting in your data, it's getting loaded into the dashboard nightly. If you're sending your staff assignment data, then that's letting you get into the dashboard. Remember, you can go look at the staff dashboard access report in advisor validation. To review who has access to your dashboard. But the advisor dashboard is not intended to be used to verify your fall data, just to be clear. The dashboard is, for one, always showing you students that are enrolled in your district today, and does not have any option to show you who was, in membership in October 1st. So there's also a few bugs that we need to work on to make sure the attendance data and the demographic data is being looked at correctly. So NDE will be working on those fixes in November. We're just kind of pushing that off until we get through this window here. We got a lot of other things to work on. Right, update on the vendors. Obviously, all vendors are publishing at this point. We've gone through a lot of bug fixes in the last couple of weeks. There may still be a few more that need to be worked on. We're just kind of tracking them as we get tickets about them, and sometimes we have to refer you back to the vendor. EduStar districts, if you're on here, check advisor validation to verify your data is actually going up. Infinite Campus, they released a fix for student demographic errors, so that was a major roadblock. I don't think there's any open campus issues that are critical to the fall window. There's a couple of individual districts that are having various issues, but I don't know for sure that they are Infinite Campus bugs. I have seen several reports of issues with the instructional day and absence durations, but again, that attendance data is not required for the fall window, so we will be addressing that later. Michelle, I see you're on here. Did you have any other messages about Infinite Campus? And you could probably unmute yourself, I think.
Sorry. Yeah, Max, thank you. I think you recapped it very nicely. We are working with a few districts that are having some issues publishing, and then we're going to be working on any remaining issues we have for things that are due at the end of the year.
All right, good to know. I'm caught up. JMC districts, we just heard yesterday that they had a bug with the FRL being sent up as the wrong choice. But they rolled out a fix for that yesterday, and I saw that Tina emailed all the districts to let you know what to do to fix your data. PowerSchool has PowerSchool. They've released several updates over the last couple of weeks. So I think the state reporting version is now up to 18.9.1. All the major bugs have been fixed. They're also adding a feature now, I think, or maybe have already added it, where they are adding a field to override the FRL status that goes to the state, to keep it separate from the FRL status that is actually being used in PowerSchool. This is one way to address being able to keep the FRL status different for a student that had one FRL status on October 1st, but then needed to change between October 1st and October 31st. So that's something we will look at addressing system-wide, but it won't happen until next year. We may choose some demographics such as FRL, food program eligibility, and change it to a field that has a date attached to it so that we could see the student was full price on this date, but then the student was reduced price on this date, etc. But that requires a change, kind of a major change to the system. So we can't really address it during the window. And our PowerSchool support people in the state have been getting several actual PowerSchool members to work with a couple of districts, some of the large districts also having performance issues with getting data published. So they are working on that now. Sims is publishing. I believe Anna is still adding a few more districts, but she's almost done, it looks like. So I expect within the next day or two, probably. Anna, let me know if I'm wrong. But you'll get all your districts up and running here soon. SRS is publishing. Again, a reminder in SRS, yep, end of this week, Anna said. Thank you. SRS can't publish the SPED records for a student until your SIS has published the enrollment record for the student. So that may still be a blocking point for some, but a lot of districts are getting their SRS data going. Just yesterday, we got reports of a potential bug that they are looking at now, with some students who were transferred from one district to another in SRS because the student actually moved, but the prior district's SPED record was not getting the exit date correct, so, or was not getting any exit date. So Jenny is helping the SRS team look into that right now. So, I mean, that's about all I had to cover today. No big updates. We're also still parts of the team are working on looking at the EdFi system for next year. Like right now, Jill and some others are at the EdFi conference talking about the new version for next year. So, but really, you know, my focus right now is just getting us all through the fall window. Do you want to have any questions? Any other topics they want to talk about? Yeah, the graduation cohort screen. We do not have graduation cohort on Visor validation yet. So we will be adding that soon, though. For right now, you should still be using the graduation cohort tool on the NSSRS side. But yeah, we will be adding that to Visor validation before this year is out, obviously. Any other questions? Okay, I think that's all I had to cover then. Thanks for joining, everyone, and we will get this recording posted. Oh, wait. We will get this recording posted here to our Google site in very soon. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Max.